Greetings, comic book fans, and welcome back to the Dude Cave. I'm Jason. It is Sunday, the 23rd of October, and you are watching Comical Weekly. Now, this is usually my video where I show you the books I picked up this week, but means we're now on to Sunday. I don't know if that means I'm showing you the books I picked up last week now instead of this week. Anywho, whichever it is, I'm going to share those books that I picked up with you today. It was another big week, 23 books I picked up this week. Next week, again, even bigger, 26. But fortunately, then when we get to November, December, the books I really dropped right down, and there aren't many weeks where I'm at 20 or over. So that's much better. I'm looking forward to those months. Certainly, my wallet is. So let's get further ado. Let's get into these books. So first up, we have from Titan Comics. We have Doctor Who: Supremacy of the Daleks. Sorry, of the Cybermen. I just whenever I see that kind of supremacy thing, I kind of automatically think Daleks. But anyway, Supremacy of the Cybermen. This is issue 4 or 5 of this mini-series. I think I'm still on. I've got to read issue 2 and 3 yet, so I can't really say. But my comic book shop, they always save me the photo cover, which is really cool. And yeah, so I can't really speak on it. I loved the first part of that. I thought that was really good and a really interesting idea where the Cybermen are kind of going throughout time and kind of making sure they win every fight. So I liked the kind of idea in the first issues. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. We then have the 12th Doctor Adventures Year 2, issue number 10, which I am enjoying the 12th Doctor stories. We've kind of, with his story now, we've kind of got up to the point where Clara's left, so he's companionless. So the last story he picked up, this girl called Hattie, who was a really interesting character. But yeah, I've been enjoying this book. Been good. We then have Dark Knight 3, The Master Race, issue number 6. I can't really say if I've been enjoying this or not because I've not been reading it. I've got The Dark Knight to read the first book. I'm going to buy the second book, and once I've read those 2 books, I'm going to start reading this because I was advised that you really need to read those 2 books before you get into this. So that's my backup plan. We have Black Hammer, issue number 4. I've got issue 2 and 3 to read yet, so I've got time to get to that. Moving to DC Comics now, we have Aquaman number 9, which I think I've still got the last arc to finish before we get into this new arc, Unstoppable. I really do like what DC are doing, though, where they have like the name of the story at the top of the book. So you can kind of see, you know, like, oh yeah, this is Unstoppable. So I like that. I just think that it looks nice, and I think it's really, really cool. So you can see, oh yeah, new story started here, it's Unstoppable, or this is part of the Unstoppable story. So I like that. We then have Batman issue number 9. Kicking off the I Am Suicide story with part 1 of that. So Mikhail Yanin on art, one of my favourite artists. So I'm looking forward to diving into that. We have Nightwing as we pick up the pieces after the crossover that they did between the 2 Batman books and Nightwing. We now have the Rise of Raptor part 1. So that's going to be interesting to see where we go next with this. So yeah, that should be good. We have Escape from Dinosaur Island. That's what's happening in Superman number 9. And I love that title. Escape. It's like kind of one of those things you'd have had in like one of the old Flash Gordon kind of movies they used to have at the cinema where there would be a serial. I like that very old school kind of title, I think. Moving to Marvel, we have Sam Wilson, Captain America, issue number 14. And this kicks off a brand new story arc called Take Back the Shield. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I've still got a few issues of that to read. So yeah. We then got Deadpool Black in Black, issue number 2. It's got, you know, this, if I haven't read the first issue, but what I gather is this is kind of like what if Deadpool got the symbiote instead of Spider-Man after Secret Wars. So that's why I think we've got Parapack on the cover with Deadpool in his different outfits. So yeah, I haven't read the first issue yet, but I'm intrigued to see what that, and it's written by Cullen Bunn, who is usually a good writer. There's been a couple of things of his I haven't liked, but in the main I find him a very good writer. We then have the Mighty Thor, issue number 12, which I'm a bit behind on this, so I've got to catch up. Last I read that, S.H.I.E.L.D. had figured out who Thor is. That Thor is Jane Foster, and they were going after our Goddess of Thunder. Then jumping over to Valiant, we have Faith, issue number 4, which I think I've read issue 1 and 2. I've got issue 3 to read, and then I'll be on to this. We have Ninjak, issue number 20, which I haven't even got a clue where I am with Ninjak right now. We have Green Arrow, issue number 9, which I'm looking forward to getting into this. Island of Scars is in this issue. So I do like I said, I do like that, having that title of the story at the top of the front page. I think that's a really good idea. We then have the Third Doctor, Doctor Who, Third Doctor Adventures. This is a mini-series, issue 2 of a mini-series written by Paul Cornell. Paul did a great job in that first issue. Because like we had all the familiar aspects. You've got the Master, you've got Unit, you've got Joe Grant. All those familiar aspects from Pertwee's era are all here. So I enjoyed the first issue, so I'm really looking forward to getting into that. We've then got Trinity issue number 2, written and drawn by Francis Manapul, one of my favourite artists. I also really enjoy his writing. The first issue was really good as kind of delving deeper into the friendship of these three characters, because in this universe, like Superman is from a different reality. So they're kind of like, Batman still doesn't totally trust him yet. And kind of, it was interesting. Lois invited them to dinner and to get them to get close and to bring down these walls between them. And she kind of wants them to be close like they were on her world. So I'm really intrigued with this and where we're going to go with it. So I'm looking forward to that. We have Black Widow, issue number 7, kicking off a brand new story arc called No More Secrets. That's another one I'm really looking forward to. Love this creative team of Wade and Samney, another one of my favourite artists. So yeah, I'm well looking forward to that. I felt like when that Black Widow began, I felt it didn't really start off as strong as it could have, or as you expected, because of that creative team. But I feel it's a book that really, towards the end of that first arc, really came into its own. So I'm looking forward to that. The rest of these books are books that I've read. First, from Dark Horse Comics, we have Hellboy in the BPRD 1954, Black Sun, issue number 2. This is the final part of this 2-part story set in the 50s. Love the setting of the time. The whole issue is basically Hellboy getting captured by the Nazis, this organization, Black Sun, who are like, and you get this idea that Hitler had all these different kind of science groups, and he was playing them off against each other, kind of trying to be the best. And now that like the Germans lost the war, now we've got these different aspects, and this is another Nazi group, and it kind of explains why we keep coming across Nazi scientists, because there were all these different groups. So I like that idea. That I thought that was a really good explanation that they put in there. The whole issue is basically the leader of this group explaining their plan and what's going to go down, and then Hellboy's like, "Oh, you mean this device?" And then he smashes it, and he's won the day. The ship blows up. Hellboy is the only survivor, and he's won the day. Kind of the end, I was conflicted. I kind of liked it because it was different, because he just solved it like that. But at the same time, I was also a bit disappointed because it was a bit of an abrupt ending. So it kind of, yeah, it felt like we'd spent our whole issue reading the story, and then suddenly there's this abrupt ending. So yeah, I was kind of conflicted, but I still enjoyed the story, and it was good stuff. And I'm really happy getting back into the Mignolaverse. I tried to get into it, I think, a few years ago now, and I think I just picked the wrong story at the wrong time. But I'm trying to get back into it now, and I'm looking forward to it. So then we have BPRD Hell on Earth, issue number 146. This is all the aftermath to last issue's big events, as key characters were killed, and we're kind of getting how everybody's reacted to it, which I really like that, because that's real life. You know, that's how it would be in real life, and it kind of, that reality kind of, though this isn't real life, it's comics, but I think it makes the death mean more if you're seeing people react to it, and I really enjoyed seeing that here. Really good stuff. I think if I had been reading it for longer, probably the impact of this would have hit more. And maybe when I kind of get a few back issues and I kind of read forwards, it will, that the loss that we've had here will kind of resonate a bit more with me. But even though I've only just started reading it, you can get that these will be characters that were finished off, and I'm really intrigued with where we're going to go next. But yeah, this was just another really great book. The art in here was really great as well. Just all around, just a really great read, and definitely one worth checking out. It deals with, because like the only thing I don't know for sure is the year this is set in, because the gist of the story is there was this big bad called the Black Flame, and they kind of made Earth into a real bad place with demons and monsters and all sorts. And the BPRD have been trying to save the day. They finally defeated the Black Flame, but then an even bigger bad comes along, and he's going to destroy their base. So they evacuate the base, and but then things go a bit pear-shaped, and characters get killed. And kind of at the moment, is the big threat? Is it this little Russian girl, or is it this big bad monster that's just crushing everything in its path? So I really am enjoying this, and I found it surprisingly easy to get into. There are like one or two things I don't understand, but I'm kind of hoping that those are going to be explained over time, um, and that maybe if I'd been reading long time, they would make more sense. But nothing that there's nothing in here that make that to me that I'm just kind of wanting to see what that is. Nothing impedes my enjoyment of the book, and it's just a really quality read. We then have All New X-Men issue number 14. With this issue deals with Cyclops as he kind of has to stay home alone. Beast is in his lab, but basically Scott is home alone, and he kind of gets bored, and he's kind of trying to occupy his mind, and kind of it's the kind of shit that happens when you're trying to entertain yourself. And it kind of intrigues us more with what's going on with Beast. Kind of we kind of figured he was in the room licking his wounds, trying to find a way to get the X-Men back to their time, but he's not. There's something else going on with Beast. So I'm super intrigued with what's going on there, and I like how they're building that up in the background. And this was just a really enjoyable story. Spending a whole issue with Cyclops was cool to see what's going on with him. And it's kind of, it isn't an issue that will wow you, but it's just a book that I read and I enjoy. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, enjoying your books that you're reading. So next up we have from DC's Young Animal range of books, we have Cave Carson, has a cybernetic eye. This I felt was the least enjoyable for me of the three books, Doom Patrol and Shade the Changing Girl are the other two books, and I think I got into the first issues of them a lot more. This book, I love the art, and it did enough to intrigue me to see where it's going. It doesn't really end on much of a cliffhanger. It kind of just is a different way to end a book, and kind of makes me think maybe these are going to read better in trade. Um, and I felt, for me, this was the first one where, like, I don't know about Shade the Changing Girl, but I know Doom Patrol was out before, so that book's got history. So kind of like, for somebody who's a long time reader, it'll kind of read a bit differently because they'll see these characters that they know, and they might know a bit more about where this could be going. But in no way did that ever impede my enjoyment of Doom Patrol. I still really enjoyed it and followed the story. With this, you felt like this book had a lot of history there, and that Cave Carson was a character who had a lot of history, but that it was kind of written in such a way that I found it at first difficult to get into because it was so much on, oh, there's this character that we know, and there's this character, and you're kind of like, am I supposed to know these characters? If I'd read Cave Carson before, if there was, because I'm gathering these are all old characters kind of brought back, would this be making more sense to me? So that was what I was kind of thinking and wondering, but I still enjoyed it, and I'm definitely intrigued, and I think I'm gonna try the second issue and see how we get on with that. I'll probably give the first 3 issues a go and see where we're at. We should be halfway through the first arc then, so I should have a better idea of how I feel about this. However, like I say, I really enjoyed the art on this, and it was kind of a slightly different style of art. Which I really enjoyed, and the book is really lovely coloured as well. I'm trying to find a double page spread. You can never find a double page spread when you want one. But yeah, I really like I say, I really like the art on this, and yeah, enjoyable first issue. I think the least enjoyable of the 3 that have come out so far, but that nowhere near means it's a bad book. We then got Deadpool 2 Sued, issue number 1. I just found this book a lot of fun, and that's what you want from a Deadpool book. It isn't a book that will wow you. It isn't a book that you'll sit back and go, wow, that was good. But it's a book that's an enjoyable read. You have these characters are brought together. So we have Squirrel Girl, we have Spider Ham, we have Rocket and Groot, we have Howard the Duck, we have Ant-Man, and we have the Punisher. And basically, Deadpool wants them in his Christmas picture. Oh, and there's this other character whose name I can't remember. Bushman is the other character, and he brings them together and blackmails them all to basically be in his Christmas card picture for his Christmas cards. And so the lights go out to take this picture, and somebody has killed, basically beheaded Bushman, and kind of the mystery is who done it. So like you've now got Deadpool on the case trying to find out which one of the people in the room done it, because they figure it's somebody, one of them. So we set off, and it's a really fun adventure. You have Squirrel Girl tagging along, and Deadpool is all kind of like cynical and sarcasm, and and very violent. And then you've got Squirrel Girl, who has got a totally different kind of demeanor about her and a totally different kind of way. And they make for a very interesting pairing. But yeah, like I say, this book was just a lot of fun. There were some funny gags throughout the book, and yeah, it puts a smile on your face. Doesn't knock your socks off, but puts a smile on your face, which is always a good thing. And the final book this week, we have Death of X, issue number 2 of 4. Written by Charles Soule, Jeff Lemire, with art by Aaron Kuder. And this was good. It kind of ramps up the action. We see how everybody kind of is reacting to the knowledge now that the Terrigen mists are dangerous to mutants. We have Cyclops kind of putting a group together to do something, and you gather it's going to be something bad. We have the Inhumans working with Storm's group of the X-Men and trying to help the situation by trying to make the mists avoid Madrid, which is a major city, and so they're working together. So it's a very interesting. We've got these two kind of things going on, and you've got this potentially really deadly situation. And yeah, I thought this was really good. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed the art as well. Ann Kuder does a great job drawing all these characters. And yeah, it's still kind of, I think this is one of those books as well, like I was mentioning earlier with Kay Carson, that might read better in trade. I think this book is probably going to read tremendously well in trade when it's all collected. As a single issues, this is really just kind of, things are amping up issue by issue. Things are really amping up. So by issue 4, this book should be awesome. But yeah, it's going in the right direction. I think that issue is better than the previous issue. So if we keep in that trajectory, that's all good. So anywho, those are my books for this week. I will be back possibly next week. I might do another comic book opinions video. So that should be up possibly Monday or Tuesday. I would then be back with another haul video next Friday. I've decided I'm going to put my Marvel Ultimate Comic reviews, I'm going to put those back until November. I'm going to do those in one of the first weeks, in the first or second week in November. Basically, like this week, I've got a week off work, but I want to catch up on my books that I've got to read. So I'm going to really concentrate on reading the books that I've got before I kind of get back into those. So that's the backup plan. Anywho, as always, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate your views. All that left leaves me to say is that I've been Jason. It is the 23rd of October. You've been watching Comic Haul Weekly. Keep reading, and bye for now.